How do you get ahead in the corporate game, in your opinion?
Yeah, I guess the other word for that question is, how do you deal with corporate politics? I think, in my personal view, the way to achieve something in corporate life is through a value system. And that value system is one of integrity and honesty. And this doesn't gel well with the word corporate politics
because
politics.
one would assume you have to learn to play the game very wisely.
No, very true. You mustn't be naive. You must know what's going on. But, you know, the simple old saying, if you never lie, you don't have to remember what you've said, because you always talk the truth. And that's something I really believe in. So don't be naive. You can see what's going on. You must understand the nuances in an organization. You must understand personalities. You must know what the goals are, what people's personal goals are. That also applies if you've got a team and you want your team not to become a political setup. You must understand what people's agendas are. But from a personal point of view, it is just doing your job as well as you can, understanding what is expected of you, not in a naive way, but really to have a value system where it's all about people being able to trust you. And I believe that is what I've done.
Besides the value system, how do you stand out among your peer group? Put up your hand for the job of managing director.
In corporate life and in capitalism, it's about performance. You must make profits and you must deliver for your stakeholders. And then in latter years, we've added other bottom line, triple bottom line stuff to that. It's not only about profitability, it's about many other things, which is all true. But you must make the profit if you want to be able to pay for all the other things. But it's about sustainability. It's not making a quick buck. It's about making a return on an investment in a sustainable, honest way that everybody can live with.
Do you need to put the hours in? Do you have to work beyond 8 to 5 to get ahead in the corporate game?
Yeah, absolutely. I would think 7 to 7 is a normal day. It's all about hours. There's no ways you can do a job like mine if you want to work from 8 to 5. It's certainly 7 to 7 on a normal day, and if there's real work to be done, it's more than that.
And how do you incentivize your team, reward and remuneration?
It's obviously about money at some stage, but I think you can pay people as much money as you like. If they're unhappy in the team or unhappy in the business, I think they're going to be poor performers in the first place. But they won't last. They will eventually go somewhere else where they're happy. So you must have a happy environment. Can be a high performance environment, of course, where the targets are high and the performance or the requirements are tough and people are under pressure the whole time. That's how it works. You need to be under pressure, you need to work long hours, but it must be fun, you must be able to enjoy it. And then there must be variable pay where people must be rewarded for their effort.
To what extent have you been incentivized by money in your career to this point?
Look, it is about money. You want to buy a better property, you want to drive a nicer car, you want to go on nice holidays. It is about those things. But as I've said, if it's only about money, I think then you become this corporate politician that I've spoken about earlier, and I think eventually you'll be unsuccessful. It must be about a broader value system than only money.
7 to 7, those are long hours. How do you balance a family life in the business fold?
You must have a good wife, in my case. It certainly is about a balance becoming more difficult if you work long hours. It is about the commitment if you have a family, if you are married and you have got kids. In my case, I've got a wonderful wife and she's always had the job to look after the kids. I've never taken kids to schools in my life. I've never changed nappies 20 years ago. That was my wife's job. So that, in my particular case, that is how it's worked. We've had a great partnership where I developed my career and she did a number of other things. So it is about this. I feel sorry for people that want to have a career and have to balance these things in a more intrigued way in terms of dealing with family issues. I was very fortunate from that point of view. I'm quite close to my kids, but we've had a good understanding on what the roles and responsibilities were in my personal relationships.
Being part of a global organization, has it been tough getting them to understand the specifics around South African business, for example, the black economic empowerment issues?
Yeah, it is difficult. I think Europeans in general terms, and I think it also applies to our situation, but in general terms, I think Europeans have still got a bit of an issue of Africa being a bit of a basket case. There's another African leader. We've probably seen it with our president in the UK not too long ago. There is that perception in Europe that Africa doesn't produce too many good leaders. I think brilliant leaders come out of Africa. But it is that difficulty to get Europe, maybe the first world, but we probably deal more with Europe than North America.
But do they take you seriously in the international arena? Do you
No,
feel?
I don't think so. I don't think they take us as seriously as they should. I think South Africa has got wonderful businesses. We've got wonderful business people. And if you look at some of the businesses in South Africa that became global businesses, they're some of the best in the world.
What do we need to change that perception?
I think we must probably work harder. We must probably sell ourselves a little bit better. But it's just hard work that will do that. I don't think you can, there's not a quick fix for that. We must work hard, deliver, and over time performance will do the job.
The World Cup, the Soccer World Cup, so much has been made of that 6-week tournament and what it means to South Africa. And of course we've looked and investigated the legacy beyond 2010. What's your view? Have you bought your tickets?
I haven't, not because they're getting cheaper.
So demand and supply equation.
I think we'll get them even cheaper in a couple of weeks' time. I think it's a great event. I mean, it's the biggest sport event in the world. It's a great event. I think there's challenges being so far from most of the people that attend. I mean, 4 years ago it was in Germany, and most people that went there could go there for on a day trip. You can't do that in Africa. You have to fly here 14 hours or 11 hours from Europe, 14, 16 hours from North America. So that, I think, puts a bit of a challenge on the World Cup that we haven't seen before. And you can probably see it in the foreigners having bought tickets up to now. It's significantly less than what has been expected up to now. But apart from that, I think it's going to be a great event. I mean, the stadiums are stunning. And I mean, you've seen the program earlier where the stadiums have been delivered significantly earlier than what they have been in many other areas in the world where big construction sites had to be completed before an event. So we've done well up to now. I think we're probably going to have a couple of issues around, I think, transport and logistics around the...
Are you going to go though, even though you haven't got the tickets to this point?
No, I will certainly go. I've got a plan to get tickets.
I'm not going to ask you to disclose that.
No, I will certainly go. I don't think you miss an event like that. I might not be the biggest soccer fan, but that's not the point. It's certainly an event that you just have to attend. So I certainly will go.
Talk to me about your farm in the Northwest Province and the fact that you are passionate about horses.
Yeah, you know, there's a story, how do you make a small fortune with a farm? You start with a big fortune.
I'm a farmer's daughter, so I know this.
No, the farm it's a cattle farm. It's more a hobby than anything else. It's not. My wife will probably tell you it's her farm, and it is her farm. But it's more a hobby than anything else. Cattle, but I love cattle. I love horses. I've got a couple of horses at home here in Johannesburg. I live in Kyalami on a small holding.
Do you ride on a regular basis?
My wife is the big rider. My daughters used to be, but they've given up. I ride once or twice a week, but not just for fun. But the farm is the cattle is just a passion of mine, and we're building up a herd, and we intend to be relatively good cattle farmers.